Alright, how's it going everyone? My name is Sean and the state I got for the term project was Virginia. So I'm going to try to keep this presentation brief because we only have 3 minutes. Alright, so for the introduction, my role that I play is a healthcare administrator for the top performing hospital in Virginia, which I will get into further into the presentation. The purpose of this analysis is to benchmark the best performing hospitals in Virginia with the national hospitals. I use Microsoft Access and Excel to calculate and analyze the performance and progress of the hospital, and data was taken from national and state records. All right, so this is the national versus Virginia average length of stay and quality metrics, the query and the bar graph right here. And for the analysis, for the average length of stay, Virginia has a lower average length of stay than national. The cost per discharge is also lower. Their case mix index is higher, meaning they typically care for a higher complexity or like severity of symptoms from patients compared to national average. Their readmission rate is actually higher than national, which does raise some concerns. There may be an issue with their quality of care during or after discharge. They have the same patient survey score. Overall, Virginia performs better than national standards, with their only concern being the higher readmissions. All right, so this is the query and the graphs for top 5 state versus national DRGs or diagnosis-related groups by discharge. If we look at the pie charts over here, you can see there's not that big of a difference in the distribution. All right, so one difference there was that were not in common in Virginia was septicemia without mechanical ventilation for 96 or more hours without major complications or comorbidity. Septicemia is basically a severe systemic infection in the bloodstream, often caused by bacteria, and this was due to a statewide outbreak of the meningococcal disease reported in the eastern, central, and southwest Virginia as of June 22. This is spread by sharing respiratory and throat secretions, for example, coughing, kissing, sneezing, or sharing a cup. Though it's not highly contagious, the strain has been detected in all regions. All right, this is the query and bar graph for the top 5 state versus national DRGs by LOS. Okay, and over here is the top 5 hospitals by discharge for Virginia. We have Inova Fairfax Hospital, Johnston Willis, Centra Lynchburg, Carillon, Roanoke Memorial, and Mary Washington Hospital. All right, so this is the analysis for the top 5 hospitals by discharges for Virginia. So overall, Inova Fairfax Hospital had the highest discharges in Virginia. Johnston Willis Hospital was the least expensive. And most concerning, even though they are the least expensive, Mary Washington Hospital, they actually have the lowest CMI of all the hospitals. They also have the highest readmission rates and the lowest patient satisfaction score. All right, and for the ALOS and cost per discharge, there is a correlation because a longer stay means that more time and resources is used towards the patient's care. Overall, Inova Fairfax is doing really great. They have the most favorable relationship between average length of stay and cost per discharge, whereas Johnston Willis Hospital has the least favorable relationship. When it comes to a case mix index and cost per discharge, there is a correlation because the hospital does need to allocate more time and resources for more complex patients and symptoms. Once again, Inova is doing great. They have the most favorable relationship between CMI and cost per discharge, whereas Johnston Willis has the least favorable. As a whole, Johnston Willis does raise many concerns as they seem to be using their resources inefficiently compared to other hospitals. Okay, running short on time, so this is the query and the bar graph for the pie chart for top 5 discharge DRGs for Centara Norfolk General Hospital, which is the hospital that I would be the healthcare administrator for. All right, and these are the top 5 DRGs for Centara Norfolk compared to the state. They have 2 DRGs not in common listed right here. All right, so in conclusion, my role as a healthcare administrator is to analyze and compare hospital data in order to create benchmarks and create plans to improve my hospital's performance and efficiency of its resource allocation compared to national and state standards. My hospital, Virginia Norfolk, overall performs very well compared to national and state standards. Johnston Willis Hospital, as well as Mary Washington, raises the most concerns as their numbers suggest their operations and resource allocation are not efficient according to their CMI, LOS, and costs. My recommendation for them would be to reanalyze their internal processes in order to cut waste and maximize efficiency. All right, and these are the screenshots of the access queries. For some reason, this last one took way too long to process on Access. I don't know if it's just me. And yeah, thanks for listening.